Art is creativity. Art is a form of self-expression. It's taking the emotions that you feel and putting them onto a canvas or a pot or anywhere that you feel that art needs to be placed. But art is just freedom of expression to me. To me, art is for me a way to get away. It's an escape, just as music is an escape. Art is a way to escape and to take those ideas and to be able to put them down somewhere. Writers take their ideas, put them on paper. Artists take their ideas, put them on canvases. So it's just a way to have a place to vent. The artwork that I produce always pertains to something that's important to me. I love music a lot, so a lot of my pieces, the three that you see here, pertain to musicians that I may listen to their music a lot because the things that are relevant to me, just uplifting the community, just being on a positive note with whatever you do. And I also do work that pertains to things I grew up with. I love the 90s, I love cartoons, I love pop culture, so I may make art to poke fun at something or just to have people go like, oh, I get that, just have little jokes. So just things that are important to me is what I make my art about. I think art can because just as music can, when you look back when things were happening in the 80s and the 90s and before that, music was always a force that drove change, and art does the same thing. Anytime you see something on TV, in the social media, musicians take to it and talk about it in a song. Artists do the same thing. You see taggers tagging the wall with something that may be relevant to the news. So art can make a social change just as music can because it just takes those events and people just put them out there and their opinions. I say they're wrong because art can never die. Creativity doesn't die, so art can never die. Just the freedom of expression can and shouldn't die because creativity is a force that makes big things. Look at Apple, look at all these other companies that was made from creativity and in a form of art. So art isn't dead, never will die. Future is more people embracing it. I like to do volunteer things with the youth. I like to do face painting and things of that nature. So I like to show the youth that art is still relevant and alive because a lot of people want to take the arts out of schools, so kids don't have that opportunity like I had when I was coming up. So I just want people to see that art can make a change and to have those people, the youth coming after me, to see that you can do something with this and change the world through your gifts and through your passion. I guess I could do this. And I made this back in 2012. This was the first art show I ever did. And I sat there for like a long time trying to figure out what am I going to do. I was so nervous back then. I said, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, the premise for this piece is, I have a series of pieces on this. There's 6 of them. And the name of the series is A Retrospective Homage Through Grayscale. And I named it that because the foreground of the piece would be an artist that I love. I have one with Common, as you can see here. I have one at home with Mos Def on it. I have one with Janelle Monáe. And the background of the piece would be like a motif from a famous artist that I also admired. So this is, the background of this is from Takashi Murakami. If you guys don't know, if you've seen the artwork to Kanye West's Graduation album, that's Takashi Murakami in the back. And each one of the others that I have as well, the background is a motif from a famous artist, and it's in color. So there's that little juxtaposition and that contrast that I like. And this is one of my favorites. I get so many compliments about this one, but I felt I was really, really in the zone when I made this. When I was on the floor, I didn't have an easel or nothing. I was just really raw. I was just creating with that. So this is one of my favorites that I have. It's called Common Murakami.
Okay.
I feel like
Tell us how you feel about being a black artist.
I feel like being a black artist. I don't like I said, I don't pay any attention to it. I don't want to consider myself, like when people ask me what kind of art I do, I'm saying I do black art. I do art. I do things that are relevant to me. Obviously, that's going to include issues and things that are relevant to African Americans. But I like to do things that, like I said earlier, I do things with cartoons, pop culture. But I feel black art is taking a good direction. I know a lot of artists who do black art now, as well as people who I grew up looking at, John Bakers and others like that. But I think black art in particular, is taking a good direction. And as long as we have people that continue to bring that, passion and that energy and drive, then I think, as I answered earlier, art will never die, and black art will never die either.
Okay.
I actually had a presentation about this last week with my professor. He showed us how to have a successful web presence, and that one thing he used was social media. I use my Facebook and my Instagram as ways to, shoot myself out there. I'll tag myself in different, I use different hashtags, but every day I'll try to post something art related if I can. And that way I've gained a following from that. After events, people always want to know your information, and I just use it as a that's my tool. One of my tools when people can't see you, physically. There's people follow you in Florida and Hawaii. Just follow your Instagram. They can still purchase your artwork as well. So I think that the advent of social media has helped me, and I try to use it the best way I can. I guess I would just have to rely on word of mouth. If I have an event, just tell people, I have this email. I just use email. Email me about this, and I'll use a basic website. But it'd be a little more difficult, but I'll still make it work. Just have to rely on word of mouth more, just being in person and people seeing my work at a gallery or an art show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to first off inspire people. I do it because I love it, so I want people to know that whatever you can think and dream, you can do it, and you can put it on a canvas. I would like to profit from it, but I just would like to come into contact with the right people and to inspire them, particularly the youth, that art can be done. You can have a successful career out of it. You just have to know, what to do. You have to work hard. It's all about work ethic. And so I just want people to know that, first off, it's to inspire and to do what I love, follow my dream, and also at the end for people to love my work enough to want to buy it. For those of y'all who don't know, we just restarted the art club here called the Abstract Society. You can follow us at TSU Art Club on Instagram. Shout out to Abstract, everybody in there. But we're just trying to make a change on campus and let people know we're here and art is still here. So that's all we want to do.
Art to me is like my form of expression. It's like everything that I don't show in public. Like I can do it on my own. I can do it in my house. I could do it around people. It's just like a form of me that nobody like doesn't always see, but sometimes sees.
Okay.
The art that I produce is just like talking or like it's my personality. Like when I dance, it's everything. Like I'm a pretty shy person, so when I dance, I'm not shy anymore. Yeah. I actually do think that like all types of art, whether it's photography, painting, or dance, because like Picasso, people still like praise him and all that from how old he's had his art, and people like it's really big in the world, and I think that dance can just bring everybody together because there's no language, it's like a universal language. So if you go to another country and you dance, do the same dancing, you don't have to talk to each other, you can just dance with each other. It's great. I would say it's not dead, and it can only grow from where it is now, and it's grown obviously from where it started. So it's not. I think that through that,
It could be your particular art.
my
in dance.
particular
What do you hope
art.
to see through dance in the future?
Well, for me,
Or just for you or for anybody?
um, well, I hope that the arts in Houston can like grow a lot more to the to where like it is in Vegas. That like dancers can or even LA, um, that dancers can like book gigs here and like have shows here and like work full time here. Because dance here is pretty. There's a lot of great dancers out here, and I think that their performance value is really high for other people that come watch them. That they should. Well, that style, it started from like Chicago, around New York, and then it's like a style that came from, because that started out with hip hop, and it's like a baby of hip hop, but hip hop just took off to another like area. The house stayed in like its little area, its little pocket around in the U.S., and it's not very known at all, but it's still a widespread dance around the world, and it's all about because in Detroit, house music started from Detroit, and yes,
Okay. So
I think it can because like whenever other people come to a club and see it for the first time, they're like, "What is this type of dance y'all are doing?" Because like if you like house music, you won't necessarily know what house dancing is. So you'll hear it on the radio, but more of the house dancers' music that they listen to is more underground. It's more like deep house or garage house, tech house. So you don't really hear that on the radio. You really have to go to the clubs to hear that. So yeah.
I believe that art is anywhere that you relay a message through more than just a black and white way. We have math, we have science, all these things relay a message, but they relay it in a very clear and very black and white type of way. Art is a box of cereal, art is a magazine, art is something that expresses a message. Same message as everything else, but it gives more ability to, you can have better insight, or someone else can view it and get something different. It's not so crisp, and it also provokes emotion versus mental frustration. You can get mentally frustrated by looking at some art too, but it provokes a lot of emotion beyond all of that, beyond just the simplicity of it is what it is. You know what I mean? To me, art is expression. Um, as an artist, when I view art, I think of it as my way of channeling my emotions, channeling my thoughts, channeling how I'm feeling that day. Whether I'm having the best day of my life or I'm having the lowest day of my life, art means a way to express myself. And when I view art in society, I view it as the same way, an ability to connect with whatever emotion you're having that day. Even if the artist is painting something that is expected for you to be happy and you're having a crappy day, art is going to be there to feed off of whatever energy you're putting out into the world. So I think art is. I don't believe that it can change the issues, but it can change our perception, and it can change how open we are to the change. It can be a great stimulant to creating a change, but it's not going to actually make us shift an idea or shift a movement, but it will definitely inspire to consider it, or it'll open your eyes to things in a less closed-minded way. What art have you seen that you found alive? When did art die to you? That's what I would want to know. I'd be probing them because art is clearly not dead. It's all in the viewer. So my first response would be like, what has happened to you inside? To make you really not see art for what it truly is and everything.
Okay.
I would hope to see that people take a lot more risks because as artists and even as people, we don't like to be offended. We don't like to offend. So we don't do things that are truly what we are inspired to do. We don't do things that truly speak a message to us. We don't say exactly what we want to say because it may come off as weird. So people don't accept it the way it should. But it takes that initial dramatic, exposure to something in order for people to actually begin to accept it. So I think that I would love to see people take a lot more risks in the artwork. Well, this piece is of a photograph that I saw of obviously a very pretty girl. And I thought that it would be very interesting to translate the photo where she's in focus and everything in the background is very blurry, but you have a sense for what it is. You can get a sense of the space that she's in. Um, I tried to use a lot of different colors to like show flowers and like a fence and like just a happy place basically. And I wanted to capture that in a painterly way, which was a very huge challenge for me because it took me a long time to do. And just layering it, taking step by step, taking a step back, and being insecure about something because a blob in this corner when you're not finished, it looks like a blob in the corner versus actually stepping back and really, really seeing it for what it is before it's actually even there. So I kind of developed an emotional connection with this picture because it kind of took me to the next level in my artwork because it kind of helped me to let go of my insecurities or it really gave me a more insight on my perception of what is to come versus what I'm actually seeing. So again, I guess more faith in my work as I'm progressing through my work. So that's why it's really, really important to me. Yes, I and I believe the difference between that art for me as a black male is familiarity. When I see black art, I can immediately connect immediately because I can identify with what's on the canvas. I can identify with what's in the photograph because I can put myself in that directly. Versus maybe a painting that is not black or African American. I have to really dig into my artistic mind or my creativity to get the message. And I honestly, it doesn't take race or ethnicity, I think, because black art in general, I believe, it's very familiar to everyone because it talks about a struggle. It talks about an emotion. Black art is very, very expressive and very clear in the emotion that it's trying to portray. So that's, I believe that black art is pretty homey, to say the least. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, artists to me, I see it as expression through storytelling. Like whether it's through film, paintings, drawings, whatever, it's always a story to be told. Someone is always telling a story to it. And that's just how I see art. Like whenever I do art in film, I'm always looking to tell a story. Like that's my main goal is to tell a story. I'm a storyteller. That's what my art is.
I see art in film, paintings, drawings, sex, and most importantly, people. There's like a moment where in every day of my life where it can be like this moment where I stop what I'm doing and I just realize the people that's around me and just see the beauty in people, the people that are around me, whether it be my family, whether I'm on an elevator or at school walking on the tiger walk, or I may be in a PAB or whatever building I'm in at the time. I just stop and look at the people that are around me and notice how beautiful they are, whether they be black, white, purple, red, brown, green, whatever. But I see art. I believe that artists are putting a message out through their art, whether it be something that they're going through or whether it be a social stratification or a social change that they would like to see. They put it through their art. I'm a firm believer. I'm also a firm believer of believing that black art was done at the time of the birth of the writing ourselves into existence, like during the Harlem Renaissance. But if you ever look at art back centuries ago, you'll see how artists do have had the purpose of writing ourselves into existence. That's what I see in art.